Hello and welcome to the Leckiju Lounge. This is your host Lex, and as Gia Gunn once said, I don't jump guns, I am the boom boom gun. First off, thank you everybody for coming back to another episode. Today, based on the thumbnail, you may have guessed it, we're going to be talking about everything beauty. We're going to be talking about confidence. We're going to talk about following dreams, manifesting. I want this to be an episode to help people build confidence, gain confidence for themselves, and, learn how they're going to chase the dreams or chase the life that they want. And a lot of that does come from confidence and how you feel about yourself. That's why I think it's very important to talk about. The reason I wanted to do this topic, well, I've wanted to do something similar to this, and I've had it, in my notes and for future ideas, but I actually got a question on my Instagram that said, I'll put it on screen, how did you get your confidence? Which sounds funny because I was like, this could be technically like a read, but I know who sent this in, so I don't think it was. But it could obviously be like, oh, like, where did you get your confidence from? If you say it in a like negative tone, it does sound like oh, you shouldn't have your confidence, basically. But I don't think they meant it like that. They just said, how did you get your confidence? Because I'm assuming they want to know how. And a lot of people who know me in real life, I think that they notice that I have confidence, not in like an ego way. I hope not. I sometimes feel like I'm like, is that like having a big ego? Like I actually have to just stop and analyze for a second. But I really don't think it comes down to that, because like I know what my flaws are. I know like what I'm not good at. I know where, I'm not going to be always right. I'm not going to be perfect, all these things. I think I just have very high expectations for myself and high standards for myself. And I think that's why sometimes I think maybe it comes off as an ego. And there's definitely a very fine line in between having an ego and having a good sense of confidence with yourself. And I'll break into that today. So I wanted to talk about first what confidence comes from. It's obviously different for a lot of people, but generally there's like a few check boxes to like look into and see like where you might be lacking in yourself, or where the areas you need to improve. So what it takes to find confidence, I think there's a big part of it is look, and that's definitely not, all of it, but a big part of it is look, and there's so many things that go with that. We have like clothing, so like the way you dress. We have skincare, the way that like you take care of your actual skin, and like hair care, things, the way you actually like take care of yourself, keep up with yourself. And then there's like makeup, things like that, how you maybe accentuate the features that you feel more confident about. And then there's also things like, so those are like all the look stuff, right? Then you have things like self-affirmations for yourself, like things that maybe you need to hear every once in a while or tell yourself. Some people build more of a confidence and like their self-esteem from things like that, and like words of affirmation or compliments from your friends, from people like that. And those definitely help me, but I don't think that those resonate with me personally as much as other things. There's also things that could make you feel more confident, like talents, things like that. Like talents are things you're good at. Maybe making people laugh makes you feel confident because you feel like, oh, I'm very funny. I'm, like maybe that's your main goal. So it also depends on like what you want to be perceived as. So I think that definitely takes some reflecting. Think about what job you want in the future, what career path you want, what type of person you see yourself as, and what type of person you want to become. For me, I want to be somebody who, obviously I want duality, so that's like kind of complicated, but I want to be someone look-wise who looks pretty intense, a little bit intimidating, and because like I'm 6'2", I think that adds to it a little bit. It also does go with my personality. I don't think that I'm like an intense person, and I don't think I come off as like mean to people. Honestly, like I'm pretty outgoing when it comes to talking to new people. For instance, at work, like every time there's someone new who starts there, no one will like go up and talk to them. And I used to not be that person at all who would like start up conversations and stuff. I used to be a little more introverted, but like now that once I started having a job and, doing those things, I find myself being like the one person who goes up and introduces myself and tries to make them comfortable every single time. It's honestly kind of annoying that none of my like other coworkers do that, but I feel like I'm always the person who like starts up the conversation with somebody new. I try to learn about their interest, and a lot of things I notice, this is just sidebar for anyone who like is trying to connect with someone or meet new people. I think a good way to do it, my personal go-to, is asking people like the type of music they listen to, and I'm like, what are your 3 top artists at the moment? I always ask people that, and then it just gets them talking about something they're pretty comfortable with. I think a lot of people are comfortable with talking about music. It's also very universal. Almost everybody listens to music, and if they don't, I would ask them like your top 3 movies or shows, or just try to find something that they're interested in, because it definitely makes them more comfortable. You don't want to do like small talk is really, to me, is never the answer. Asking people about like the weather and things like, oh, like how far did you drive to get here? Like it's just like not as interesting. And you can tell more about someone's personality when you get into something that they're interested in. And you're bound to find something that y'all have in common. Sometimes it feels like a stretch, but you're bound to find something. So, anyways, I just find myself being a little bit more outgoing than I had thought I would be as an adult. So I definitely want to have those things in the future and want to, make people comfortable. A lot of times people feel comfortable telling me things even when we first met. I don't know what that energy is that I have. That's just, that's just part of me. And analyze all the things you want in the future, the type of person you want to be, and then think of yourself right now. Then you have to reflect, where am I right now, and like what do I need to do to get there? Okay. So it could be things like, I really need to improve my wardrobe. I want to, to get to my destination, I need to maybe go to the thrift store more. Obviously be reasonable with your money, but it's like, or even things that you do have, how can I style it different? Or how can I, if it's something that's not too important of value, like, can I cut this up? Can I, make something new out of this piece of clothing I already have? Like, I think that's something really fun and cool about fashion, is just like wearing the exact same piece but in a different way, or making it look totally different. So there's things you can do with that. Research the type of fashion you want to pull off, or the type of looks you want to like make your own, and then literally just start trying it at home, literally in the safety of your room. You don't have to go out in it. And if you are going to go out for it, I recommend like a good place to try out new things is like the grocery store, or like a Walmart or something like that. I mean, people show up in the Walmart in their pajamas. So like, and you've always seen worse at a Walmart. So like, there's no harm. You can, that's like a good place to try things out. But until you're ready, try it out in your room. You have a mirror, and just play around. And same thing with makeup. Say you want to try wearing a different style of makeup, or wearing makeup in general, maybe you never have. Start in the safety of your room. Maybe you can FaceTime a friend. You can send a photo to a friend that you're close with, that you trust, and that will boost your spirits and your confidence. And then, of course, you can start by wearing it out every once in a while, seeing if, hey, maybe people give you compliments and that makes you feel really good about yourself. Because some people really do need words of affirmations. Some people really do need compliments. So I also wrote down on here, surround yourself with things that lift you up. So typically that means people that lift you up. Surround yourself with friends that you trust their opinion and friends who are going to boost you up. It's healthy to not have friends who are going to lie to you and boost you up no matter what. Obviously, we love an honest, true friend who's going to tell you when, like, hey, this maybe isn't the best idea. But you also, it's important to not have small-minded friends, okay? Because it's okay for them to be honest with you. Some people really like honesty. Some people really like a friend to tell them, like, this outfit's ugly, you need to change. But that might not be the case. Maybe it's just not their taste. So it needs to be a close enough friend that you can trust their opinion and also agree with their opinion most of the time, because you want them to have an open mind enough that they're not going to shoot down creative ideas. They're not going to shoot down unique ideas and looks. So, yeah, you want friends who are going to boost you up no matter what, which I'm very thankful. I think actually the biggest part of my confidence, which I should have said earlier with this question, how did I get my confidence, is my brother. I think he is, like, growing up with him gave me so much confidence because he always, like, lifted me up, boosted me up. He almost even puts me on a pedestal all the time, but, like, and sometimes it's unhealthy. I'm sure it's like, you know, he could have told me no, should have told me no, but he's just, like, always the biggest supporter for me. And that's just, like, where I've gotten my confidence, you know what I mean? Even if I try an outfit, he always tells me, like, that it looks good, or he at least tells me that, like, if you like it and you feel good, then it's perfect. And I do think that that's an important thing. I tell people that all the time when they ask me, like, do I like this, or if they say, like, should I wear this, and I'm like, if you like it and you feel confident, yes. That's always the answer for me. Now, if you're asking if I personally like it or personally I would wear it, that might be a different answer. But if you like it and you feel confident, why shouldn't you wear it? That's always how I feel. But yeah, my brother is always lifting me up, and in anything I do also, it's like skill wise or talent wise, if I'm dancing or I'm choreographing, like, he's always boosting me up, telling me, like, I'm good at this, and, like, he rarely ever tears me down. And, like, obviously we're real with each other. We can, like, be honest with each other, but he always just, like, seems to be helpful for me in that way. And I genuinely do not think I would have the confidence that I have today if it wasn't for him. So thanks, Ephraim. Shout out, Ephraim. So what I've also heard helps a lot of people for confidence is daily routines. Some people really, like, need a daily routine with their self-care, their skincare, their makeup and things like that, because it makes them feel more put together as a whole. And also that can help with following dreams and things like that. If you do something that makes you feel like you're taking a step closer to your dream every single day in a routine, you really can, like, track your process. And I'm gonna be honest, I'm not, like, a huge routine person. I think my day-to-day is very different. Also, because I work several different jobs, I can't, like, have the same work routine and, like, time at home. I'm very, like, all over the place with my schedule. So that's kind of difficult, but I do have some things that I keep the same every day. For as far as, like, beauty, like, taking care of my hair and my skin and things like that, I do have a routine that's, like, every other day. And so I do keep up with that. It's like, so I do these things on one day, do these things on the next. And then my other routine that I'm actually very proud of, I started in 2025. So this year I started maybe, like, on New Year's Day. I don't know. I know it was, like, the first week of January, and I started doing, like, a workout routine, and I have added to it just a little bit, barely, but I've added to it just a little bit. And every single day, I think I have missed a few days, but probably, like, only 5 in total from the start of this year. And also because, like, I don't want to, beat myself up too much for missing a day. If it's, like, oh, I just got home super late, or like I just whatever, I forgot. But it really hasn't been a lot of times that I forgot. I've just made this short, like not too difficult, not too strenuous workout routine that I could do every day before I shower for the day. So I'm like a shower at night person for the most part. So it's like, basically I just tell myself, like, you can't shower until you do this first. So it's like, even if I'm tired from the day, even if this, I made it a routine that's not too long to where it's not going to feel like something I need to put off. If this is something that I can do pretty quick and then just shower, I think I haven't like timed myself actually while I do it, but I think like literally 10 minutes I do abs on the floor, as far as like I do like abs and glutes, and then I always end it with, I do like a couple push-ups, because I'm like not someone who wants like super big upper body, super big biceps. That's not really what I'm going for, but I do want to like keep them toned in a way. So do the push-ups. Then I always end it with 20 squats, which I should probably be doing more than 20 squats. But again, like I wanted to do, I guess, keep it short enough to something that I couldn't put off or that I wouldn't want to skip. So do 20 squats. I've been doing 20 squats like every day, doing this whole routine every day this year, and I actually have seen some difference. Like, I hate to break it to y'all, but like working out, you can actually tell a difference. I fear that people did not lie. If you do abs every day, you will start to see some definition. If you do squats every day, you will definitely see some like strength built in your thighs and your glutes. So that's really cool. Working out's really cool. And I'm not like a big workout person. Everyone who knows me like just knows that that's so not me. But I also made this routine that I can do. I do it right here next to me, like it's next to my bed on the floor, just like, you know, really quick. So I think that that is a good idea for people to do. Start very small. Start like with a minimal workout routine that you can commit to doing every single day or even every other day, and take the time for yourself. Even if it's 10 minutes, you could do crunches for the whole time. You could do, you know, sit-ups, or just do something. If it's something like a body goal that you want to reach by a certain point, or just, you know, into the future, what you want to look like and how you want to feel, it also does make you feel better if you do a little activity every day or use your muscles every day. So that, as far as daily routines, that's really all I do. But some people have, you know, very long skincare routines and just very long daily routines. But I'm not really like a cookie cutter day type of person. So I like to switch it up a little bit. Now, another thing that works for a lot of people is like a fake it till you make it type system, where you basically cosplay the person you want to become until you become them. So it's like almost pretending like I am this confident diva, like I am all the things. I am the boom boom gun, and then you will eventually get there. Because a lot of people who talk about manifesting and things like that say that you have to make like your subconscious believe it for it to come true. So like if you don't actually believe something deep down, then it's not going to come true. But if you actually like go through the motions physically and mentally, like your subconscious will start to believe that you either have the things you want or that you're like actively achieving the things you want, then you will in real life, in real time. So I will say it's definitely like come true for me, I'm sure several times, but like sometimes you won't even notice it. But I do understand to some degree doing it. I don't think necessarily like going to the store and like buying all the things you want, that's not necessarily going to put you in the best position financially. But I think things like taking care of yourself, obviously those things are going to lead to you actually feeling better because you actually took care of yourself. But like giving yourself the time you deserve and the care you deserve will definitely, you know, put you at a better place later on. So then we now go to chasing dreams. Chasing dreams. For me, I think that look is more heavy in the confidence building because my dreams of becoming a model, like the most successful model maybe ever, at least the most successful male model. I've said this a couple times because female models definitely have more of a space in the modeling industry. They just because like a lot of fashion is based around women, and I will say even like objectifying women comes into play because like things like beauty, things like sexy concepts selling well, a lot of times they're going to use women for that. So it's just typical that like female models gain more fame and more recognition and more brands and stuff like that. And I've always seen myself kind of like paving a way to be one of the most successful male models ever, because like I want to do the concepts of the men and the women and like do literally everything. And I don't know, that's just a side note, okay? That's just me sharing my dreams with y'all because I love y'all. But when it comes to chasing dreams, that's why I think looks has more of a it matters more to me, but that's because of what I want to do as my career. If somebody, like, this is kind of taking it literal, but if somebody wanted to be a comedian later on, like they want to do stand-up, they want to do appearances and stuff like that, or be a TV personality. That's why I was saying earlier, if you get people to laugh, if you get a whole room to laugh at your joke or your humor, then that's going to make you feel more confident because that's what you want to do with your life. That's what you want to become. It's same with, let's see, I'm a dancer as well and choreographer. If an audience really loves my choreography or all the dancers love my choreography, then that makes me feel more confident in my ability to choreograph. And that's my dream. And I do have many dreams. I do want to be a choreographer and perform from time to time. And I have gotten some like good feedback on my choreography, and that makes me feel more proud than literally anything ever. I watched my choreographies recently and I was like, it's rare that I feel this proud about anything. And that's not even to sound bad. I'm just saying, like, I don't ever feel that, like, I can't reciprocate that feeling of being that proud of myself for creating art. Like, it's literally so cool. You can actually watch my choreographies. I think 2 of them are on YouTube, on my other YouTube channel that is linked in my bio. It's at Leckiju on YouTube, so you can look it up. I have my choreographies on there if you want to watch them, but they really mean so much to me and I'm really very proud of them. So obviously that boosts my confidence as a choreographer. So think about, what do you want to do when you're older? What are the dreams you're chasing right now? Do you want to be a parent? Because then maybe you could say, people keep telling you you're really great with kids because you're taking care of kids or you're babysitting, and people say like, oh, this is the best babysitter. They're so great with kids. They do all the things, this. And that would make you feel more confident in your ability to become a parent. Does that make sense? So think about what you want to do. For me, that's lots of things. Like if I want to fashion design, so I have sketches. If people complimented my sketches, I would really like feel like that is an achievable goal for me. So I actually had a funny story to share with y'all because it does kind of go with the topic today. And I had a friend who wanted to become a model, right? And they were asking me like how do you submit? What do you do? Like, what are all the things? They're super like new to this idea. And I told them, I said, I was like, okay, so I just gave them a rundown. You got to take digitals. You got to submit to, like, this is how you submit. And I told him, I was like, I'll send you a list of agencies that I think you would have a chance with. And also, if you want to stay somewhat local, like I'll, send you the ones from our area. All the things. I sent them to him, and we just, like, were talking about becoming a model and stuff like that because he knew that I was already signed. That's why he was asking me. But then he said, he was like, but people are probably going to judge me or think that I have an ego because if I become a model, he was like, that's basically you saying that you're more attractive than everybody else. And I was like, well, no. First of all, no, because models are not always hot. Sorry, models are not always the most attractive people. Models, like, you either have a very, like, symmetrical look and, like, bone structure and things like that, or you just have a very like unique, weird look. Like a lot of people say that models look like aliens. I think it's kind of true because typically like fashion models are very tall and they are thinner and they just like look like aliens. I don't know. I'll be like Alex Kinsani, for example. She says she's an alien and I believe it. But it's kind of like him saying that, I'm like, well, first of all, models are not the most attractive people always, okay? If you're like a beauty model, things like that, maybe. But also a lot of models are like generic people for like e-commerce. That's like a more generic looks, or like above average but generic looks. And also, if that's what you're worrying about, okay, that was the first point. The second point is, if you're worried about people thinking that you think you're more attractive than them, then you're not supposed to be a model. Also that, because if that's even a thought in your head, that's when you know like this, then that's not meant for you. Because then what are you gonna think when you are on a billboard or you're on like a campaign? And do you not want people to think that you look amazing in that campaign or that you did such a good job? Like, you have to believe in yourself enough to go to it. And I don't think this person's going to become a model, only because he was looking at it more of like, oh, I can make extra money this way. I could like, just because I'm tall and like have a pretty good look and he could be. That's the thing. I know he could be. But if it's not your dream or not a dream career don't do it. Literally do not bother. Don't bother, because it genuinely like, it's not just an extra way to make money. It's not a side hustle. Like, it is genuinely so difficult to develop and something you have to put all your work into, and you have to love it. I think you have to love it to actually model, because it's too difficult and too like fast paced and such a tough industry to not love it, I think. So that's what I told him. Also, I was like, if you don't love it, don't do it, honestly, because it's truly not just a way to make money. It's not that at all. It's actually difficult to make money. So I've just always told myself, if I was doing that, like, I don't care about money, because I would love it so much and like I would just be happy. So I have some Leckiju cues for y'all today. These are the questions that you can submit on my Instagram, either account, which is at Leckiju or at Leckiju.Kpop. So let's get right into the questions. The first one we have is favorite beauty products. Hey, perfect on theme. So I'll tell you a few of them. They're also going to be linked in. If you go on my bio, there's an Amazon storefront, and I have a section, I think, for beauty in there, or I'll update it, and I'll put in some of my favorite products. Just to announce some, I would say, like, as far as moisturizers go, I always use the Neutrogena Hydro Boost, like the water cream, or like the gel cream. That is such a good moisturizer. I think the one I have, you can technically use all over the body, but the face is what I use it for. And it's just super lightweight, feels great. We're not going to do an ad here. I also love Estee Lauder products. I love their eye cream. I love their like vitamin C. It's like a vitamin C serum. And then as far as like makeup goes, it's very diverse, but it's going to be all in the Amazon storefront. I'll put it there so that y'all can just like see what I'm into. Okay. Then we have somebody asked, what was your best relationship? This is kind of off topic, but I'll tie it into confidence. Okay. Cause my best relationship, I really only had two. But I would definitely say the second one, which was more of a real relationship. I mean, the other one, I was very young. And so this one, I was young too for this one, but I would say it was better. It was like 3 years of my life, and I have a lot of fun, and I have a lot of great memories from it. So like, I don't have any regrets from it. And that's always a good feeling. I definitely had fun, and I learned a lot about myself, learned a lot about what I want and am looking for in a future relationship that I didn't necessarily get. But I also learned how to love, how to feel loved, and like what that feels like and things like that. So it was definitely like my real adult relationship, I guess. But a way to tie that with confidence is somebody being like boosting your confidence or tearing your confidence down in a romantic relationship. Like, I don't necessarily want somebody who does always put me on a pedestal in a relationship, but I definitely, find somebody who is going to lift you up. I know not all of you want compliments like all night if you're on a date, but slide them a compliment on the date, just one, and then like let it be. You know what I mean? Don't overdo it. I know some people don't like to be sweet talk too much, but I think one, maybe two compliments is enough. You don't want to seem like, you don't want to, scare them away with too much, but you also don't want to like give them no compliments at all, because they probably put in a lot of work to go on a date. Okay. So then, how did you get your confidence? This is like the question I put at the beginning. So I wanted to recap. Obviously, like I said, I got a lot of my confidence from my brother, but there's also things that you can do to boost your confidence, build it, find it, any of the things. So analyze where you want to go, what you want to become. That is the most important. Then analyze yourself currently. What do you look like? What are you doing from day to day? What are your like natural habits that maybe you could change? And look at all the opportunities for improvement that you can do, and then start with the easiest one, or maybe start with the most difficult, whatever you want to do, but start fixing those, start changing them, and improving them for the better, as far as like, hey, I really want abs by next year, or I really want abs in the future indefinitely. So I'm going to start today doing this many crunches or this many exercises today, and I'm going to do it every single day until that point and see where I'm at, okay? Or I'm just going to try it for 6 months and see if it makes a difference, things like that. That's what I did. I said like I wanted a bigger bottom. I wanted bigger glutes. So I was like, I'm going to work out my glutes and do that many squats every day this year and see if it makes a difference. And it has. It's a very subtle difference, but I definitely see one. So it's like, I'm living proof, guys. The workout can actually do something. Isn't that crazy? What they were telling us actually was true. And then if it's something like, I really want to clear my skin up, I'm going to like switch up the products, try this for a month. If it doesn't work, I'm going to try something else. But you have to make an effort. That's another big part. Confidence doesn't just come, like, some people are luckier than others, but this is like a big issue that I think it's an issue that I care a lot about, because I do have a decent bit of confidence. And obviously I've struggled, I wasn't always like this, but I do have a pretty good sense of confidence. And that's why it makes me very upset when people don't. When I see people with low self-esteem and see people with like not a lot of confidence, my heart really goes out to these people, because I want to try to help them, because I'm like, I want to give you some of my experience and some of my like knowledge on the topic to help you get there. And also, not giving a what people think also helps. If you want to try new things, try new outfits, try new concepts for yourself, new personalities, do not care what people think. That is a big part of confidence, okay? You want to have the attitude that's like, I don't care if anybody in this building likes me or not, because I like me. That's the type of confidence. And you don't want to come off as like a you know what, but you want to you want to give the energy of like, hey, people like me, but if they didn't, that's fine because I like myself enough. I think that's the energy I truly go everywhere with. I actually go into places like when I'm starting a new job or starting a new anything. I have the concept. It's funny because I always think I'm like, I'm not here to make friends. I'm here to do my job. And then I always be making the most friends. I always be making so many friends because like I realize that I'm too bored if I'm not like hanging out, talking to people. But I normally tell those people, I'm like, when I came here, I didn't have any intention of making friends because I go in with the intention of, I don't really care if anybody likes me or no one's probably going to like me, but that's fine because I like myself. See, saying that out loud just made me think, if you are thinking, I'm going to go in here and no one's going to like me, that's very different than thinking, I'm going to go in here and I don't care if anybody likes me. That's very different. If you're going somewhere or starting a new job, you might think, the negative way of thinking would be, I don't think anybody's going to like me because like I look like kind of shabby today. Like my clothes don't fit. This uniform's ugly. I feel ugly today. So like no one's going to like me. That is very different than I'm going to this new job and I don't know if anybody's going to like me, but that's honestly fine because like I'm going to entertain myself. I'm going to see the best in the situation. I'm going to be enough for myself. That is very different energy. So that's the energy I encourage you to try to find. Obviously, some people go into new jobs thinking like, I'm going to make so many friends. I'm going to be nice to everyone. I'm going to bake cookies and bring them on the first day. Personally, I'm not that person. And I love those people. I think they're so amazing. I genuinely love that energy that they bring. I have some friends like that, but me personally, I could never. I'm never going to be like that super high energy, like bubbly person. But when I go in, I do end up normally making friends. But if you have that confidence, you will attract people. Okay? If you find this confidence, build that confidence, people will be attracted to it. People will notice you without you even having to like go out to them or seek them out or try to become friends with them. You'll just end up making friends. Okay? So that is my spiel for today. I hope that this is a self-improvement episode for you guys. And hopefully for me too. If you want to follow me, please follow my TikTok. It's at Leckiju212. Please follow my Instagram. You can find at Leckiju for my regular stuff or at Leckiju.Kpop for my Kpop account. And then I think that's everything. It's all linked in my link tree on this channel. So that's an easier way to find it. You can just click the link. But also here on the YouTube channel, please like this video. Please subscribe. We have a new episode every Thursday at 6 p.m. So it's super fun time here. You can turn on the post notifications so you never miss out. That's all. This has been the Leckiju Lounge. Love you. Bye. Stay confident.